The dimly lit pool hall was alive with the hum of anticipation. The air was thick with the scent of chalk, stale beer, and the faint metallic tang of sweat. The crowd, a mix of die-hard pool enthusiasts and curious onlookers, had gathered to witness the final match of the prestigious Golden Cue Championship. At the center of it all was Malik Johnson, a 28-year-old pool prodigy with a reputation for his unshakable focus and razor-sharp precision. Malik had grown up in the heart of Chicago's South Side, where the clatter of pool balls was the soundtrack of his childhood. His father, a former hustler-turned-mechanic, had introduced him to the game at the age of 6. By the time Malik was a teenager, he was already running the tables at local bars, earning enough to help his family make ends meet. But Malik's dreams were bigger than the neighborhood. He wanted to be a champion, and tonight, he was on the verge of making that dream a reality. His opponent, Victor the Viper Morales, was a seasoned veteran with a reputation for psychological warfare. Victor had won the Golden Cue twice before, and he wasn't about to let some upstart from Chicago take his crown. The tension between the two players was palpable as they shook hands before the match, their eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. The game was a grueling marathon, stretching into the early hours of the morning. Both players were evenly matched, their skills honed to perfection. But Malik had something Victor didn't, a quiet, unyielding determination that had carried him through years of hardship and sacrifice. As the final ball sank into the corner pocket, the crowd erupted in cheers. Malik had done it. He was the new Golden Cue champion, and with the title came a $10 million prize. The victory party was in full swing at a luxury hotel downtown. Malik, still in a daze from his win, was surrounded by friends, family, and fans. The room was a blur of flashing cameras, clinking glasses, and congratulatory handshakes. For the first time in his life, Malik felt like he had truly made it. He had proven that talent and hard work could overcome even the toughest odds. But as the night wore on, Malik couldn't shake a nagging feeling of unease. He had grown up in a world where success often came with a target on your back. The $10 million prize was life-changing, but it also made him a potential mark for anyone looking to take advantage. Still, he tried to push those thoughts aside and enjoy the moment. Around 2 a.m., Malik decided to call it a night. He thanked his supporters, hugged his mother, and slipped out of the party with his best friend and manager, Jamal. The two of them walked to the parking garage, laughing and reminiscing about the match. Malik's brand new luxury car, a gift to himself for the win, was parked in a corner spot. As they approached the vehicle, a police cruiser pulled into the garage, its lights flashing. The officer, a middle-aged white man with a stern expression, stepped out of the cruiser and approached Malik and Jamal. "Evening, gentlemen," he said, his tone clipped. "Mind telling me what you're doing here?" Malik, still riding the high of his victory, smiled and held up his hands. "Just heading home, officer. We were at the Golden Cue Championship, I won." The officer's eyes narrowed as he looked Malik up and down. "You won, huh? And what's in the bag?" He gestured to the duffel bag Malik was carrying, which contained his winnings. "That's my prize money," Malik explained, his smile fading. $10 million. It's all legit, you can check with the tournament organizers. The officer's expression hardened. $10 million, huh? You expect me to believe that? Let me see some ID. Malik and Jamal exchanged a glance. They had both been through this before, the unwarranted stops, the suspicion, the thinly veiled racism. But this time, Malik wasn't going to let it ruin his night. He handed over his ID and tournament credentials, hoping that would be the end of it. But the officer wasn't satisfied. "Step out of the vehicle," he ordered, his hand resting on his holstered gun. "What? Why?" Malik asked, his voice rising. I haven't done anything wrong. I said step out of the vehicle, the officer barked, his tone leaving no room for argument. Malik complied, his heart pounding. He knew how these situations could escalate, especially when the person in question was a young black man with a lot of money. Jamal, sensing the danger, started recording the encounter on his phone. As Malik stepped out of the car, the officer ordered him to put his hands on the roof of the vehicle. Malik did as he was told, but the officer's aggression only increased. You think you're some big shot now, huh? The officer sneered. Just because you won some game doesn't mean you're above the law. Malik tried to stay calm, but the officer's words cut deep. I'm not above the law, he said through gritted teeth. I'm just trying to go home. The officer's hand tightened on his gun. Shut your mouth, he shouted, his face red with anger. You think you can talk back to me? Before Malik could respond, the officer drew his weapon and fired. The sound of the gunshot echoed through the parking garage, and Malik collapsed to the ground, clutching his chest. Jamal screamed, dropping his phone as he rushed to his friend's side. The officer stood frozen, his gun still pointed at Malik. For a moment, it seemed like he couldn't believe what he had just done. But then, as if snapping out of a trance, he radioed for backup, his voice shaking. Malik was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. He died on the operating table, his dreams and potential snuffed out in an instant. The news of his death spread like wildfire, sparking outrage across the country. Protests erupted in cities from Chicago to Los Angeles, with people demanding justice for Malik and an end to police brutality. The officer, whose name was revealed to be Brian McCullough, was placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. But as the details of the shooting emerged, it became clear that McCullough had a history of complaints against him, including allegations of racial profiling and excessive force. Jamal's video of the encounter went viral, providing damning evidence of McCullough's actions. But even with the video, the legal system moved slowly. McCullough was eventually charged with manslaughter, but many believe the charge was too lenient given the circumstances. In the months that followed, Malik's story became a rallying cry for change. His family, along with activists and community leaders, pushed for reforms in policing and greater accountability for officers who abused their power. The $10 million prize that Malik had won was used to establish a foundation in his name, dedicated to supporting young athletes from underserved communities. Malik's death was a tragedy, but his legacy lived on. He had proven that talent and determination could overcome even the toughest odds, and his story inspired a new generation to fight for a world where everyone, regardless of their race or background, could achieve their dreams without fear. As the sun set over Chicago, the pool hall where Malik had honed his skills remained a beacon of hope. The regulars still gathered to play, their laughter and the clatter of pool balls filling the air. And on the wall, next to a photo of Malik holding the Golden Q trophy, was a simple inscription, "For Malik, the break and the broken. May your spirit live on in every shot we take." Thanks for joining us on this journey through the incredible world of snooker players and stories. If you're as passionate about the game as we are, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a shot. Do you have a favorite snooker legend or story you want to see featured? Drop it in the comments section below, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep hustling, keep aiming, and remember, on the green felt, every game has the power to make you a legend.